Hello, everyone, and thank you for tuning into this episode of Sun Devil Learning Labs. This episode is kindergarten math. My name is Miss Kopp. I will be your teacher for today's lesson. And today we're going to be working on math foundations, those basic foundation skills that you as kindergartners will need to become really great really great students who can do math really well. So today we're working on those foundations. Like I said, my name is Miss Kopp. That's Kopp. That's me. And today is week 5, day 5 of this Sun Devil Learning Labs programming. So if you've been watching our other episodes, thank you so much for tuning back. And if this is your first time watching an episode with us, thanks for coming. I'm sure you will enjoy it. We have an easy routine that we follow every single day, so I think you'll catch on really fast. So with that, let's get started. Today, over on the left in green, in the green square, you can see our agenda. So that means, what are we going to be doing today? What's on our schedule? We're going to do a little bit of number work. We're going to work on our tripod grip. And then we're going to do a read aloud of a book called Polar Animals. Excuse me. So polar animals, we've been talking about animals all week long. So this week we're going to be talking about animals, or today we're going to be talking about animals that live in really, really cold places called the North Pole and the South Pole. And we're going to do a little bit of a game related to the animals that we talk about in that book. And then I'll give you some ideas of how to practice your math skills at home. So your materials for today, you will only need these materials if you want to practice writing our number of the day. So our number of the day today is 5, and we will do a little bit of writing practice in just a few minutes. So if you would like to practice that with us, you can take a minute, pause the video here, go gather something to write with. So maybe a crayon, a pencil, a marker, whatever you have. I'm at home and not in my classroom, so I only have these like pens to color with, no crayons or anything. So anything you have is perfect. And then a piece of paper to draw on as well. I like to hang my paper when I draw. I like to hang it vertically so I can write on it vertically instead of how we usually have it horizontal. So if you would like to do that as well, grab tape or something you can use to hang that paper up. Next, we have our standards. Our standards, that really just means, what do the people in charge think that you as kindergartners need to be able to do? So these are basically the skills that we're working on today. This is what we're practicing today. So let's get started. We always warm up with our number line. Our number line, this helps us see our numbers. Instead of just thinking about them, here we can really see them and see what they look like and how they grow bigger to smaller. So our number line, just like any other book or any other time we read it left to right. So we start at the left side and we move over to the right side of the screen. So I have this arrow at the top to remind us that we start at the left and we move to the right. So we start at our smallest number, 0, and we will count all the way up to 10 on the right side. So count with me. I'm going to count out loud. If you know your numbers or you can read them, count them with me out loud. If you don't know it yet, that's totally fine. Rewind the video a few times and listen to it. Get familiar that way. Or just keep tuning into our episodes and you will be really familiar with our numbers soon enough. So with that, let's begin. We're going to start, like I said, right here at 0. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So that's our number line. It walks us all the way from 0 all the way down to 10. So that's our number line with all of our numbers 0 through 10. Today we're going to talk about our number of the day. Our number of the day today is the number 5. Just like today is day 5 of week 5 of our program, our number of the day today is 5. So I gave you a big 5 on the screen here so you have a good idea of what we're talking about, what number we're talking about. This is the number 5. So Now is the time we're going to do a little bit of writing practice, practicing how to write the number 5. So to do this, we need to talk about our grip, about how we hold what we're writing with. So this picture, it shows you the tripod grip. Tripod grip is the name of how we use our fingers to hold what we're writing with. So I have a little warm up to get our hands and fingers moving and thinking about what we're going to be using them for today. And that warm up, if you've been watching our episodes, you might be pretty familiar with by now. You're going to take your tip of each finger and touch it to the tip of your thumb one at a time. So you start with your pointer, then your middle finger, then your ring finger, then your pinky finger. Pointer, middle, ring, pinky. Pointer, middle, ring, pinky. So you can just keep doing this over and over and over again, and it will give your hands a lot of practice with those muscles that we use to write and to hold our writing utensils. So you can do it faster. You can try to do it in reverse and start at your pinky and move your way back that way instead of going this way. You can try to do both hands at the same time. That one's pretty hard for me, but you can try it and get as much practice as you can in moving your fingers around. So that is our little warm up. Now we're going to talk about that tripod grip, about how to actually hold our writing utensil. So to do our tripod grip, you're going to take your pointer finger and your thumb, and you're going to pinch, 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 pinch. We're going to pinch the bottom of whatever you're going to be writing with. So maybe it's a crayon, maybe it's a marker, maybe it's a highlighter, maybe it's a pen, whatever you have, you're going to take your pointer finger and your thumb and pinch the bottom of what you're writing with. So that's what this looks like. You're pinching it. Then you're going to take your middle finger and you're just going to slide it under the marker. And you're going to let your marker rest on top of it. So you see how my marker is sort of sitting on top of my middle finger here? It's resting on it. So that is called our tripod grip. Your tripod grip, you only have 3 fingers touching what you're writing with. 1, 2, 3. Your other 2 fingers, these are not touching what you're using to write at all. So that is the grip that I will be using when we are practicing how to actually write. And that's the grip you should be using as well. So now that we know how to hold what we're going to use to write, here's the instructions of how to write, how to draw our 5. So now is the time to take out your paper. If you have any paper, if you're going to hang it to the wall, pause the video here and take the time you need to hang your paper to the wall. I'm going to hang my paper to my little board back here. So all you need is a tiny little piece of tape. We don't want to waste our tape, so just get a tiny piece and then hang your paper, whether it's to a wall, to a board like mine, however you would like. So there is my paper ready to practice our number 5. So I have a little rhyme for us to help remember how to draw our 5. Straight line down, then around, hat on top, 5's a clown. So my little number's blocking it here, but so step 1, down. Step 2, around. Step 3, a little hat right on top of the 5. Straight line down, then around, hat on top, 5's a clown. So let's try actually drawing it using that pattern. So I'm going to draw it on this white piece of paper back here. So we start in the middle, and you're going to go, first we make our line down. So 1 line down, straight down. Then we go around, right? Around, straight line down, then around. So we're going to go to the right and go around. And you kind of make a half circle around. And then hat on top, 5's a clown. So that's how you draw a 5. First you go down, then around, hat on top, 5's a clown. So that's our number 5. Feel free to pause the video right here if you would like some more practice writing the number 5. I'll put the instructions back up on the screen so you can pause the video right here where you have the numbered instructions and the picture and the rhyme to help you remember how to write the number 5. Straight line down, then around, hat on top, 5's a clown. So that's writing our number 5. Now we're going to look at different ways you can see the number 5. Number 5, you can see it right in the middle of our screen right here. There's our number 5, our numeral. Up here in the upper left corner of our screen, you can see the tens chart. The tens chart are these white boxes right here. This is a tool we use to see numbers easier. So this helps me see the number 5 because there's 5 squares filled, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is how we show the number 5 on a tens chart. Over here on the upper right side of the screen, right here, this is how you spell the word 5. 5. This is how you spell it. It's F-I-V-E. 5. Down here in the bottom left corner, this is 5 tally marks. So we've been talking about what tally marks mean. Tally marks are a way we track the number of something, the way we keep count of the number of something really fast. When you don't have time to be writing down the numbers or writing down a lot of information, you just make a little mark to show how many times something happened. So we have 5 tallies right here. When you get to the 5, the 5th one crosses across. Instead of going right next to these other ones up and down, the 5th line goes across the other 4. So we know 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5. So when you see this line going diagonally, like this, going diagonal across tallies, you know that that's a group of 5, because that's what that diagonal line means. Down here in the lower right corner, I have a picture of 5 puppies. So here's a picture of 5 puppies. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. That is our page of 5. So now that we're done with our number of the day today, we're going to get into our read aloud, our story for today. Our story for today is called Polar Animals. Here is the cover of our book, Polar Animals. That's the title of our story, Polar Animals. And our author, the person who wrote this book, is Wade Cooper. So thank you, Wade, for telling us all about these polar animals. Polar animals. North Pole and South Pole are the coldest places on Earth. Animals that live in snow and ice need to keep warm. Some have thick fur. Some have fluffy feathers. Some are big and fat. Lots of polar animals are white, so they can hide in the snow. So here's a picture of our planet. This is a picture of our whole world taken from outer space, from a spaceship or a satellite up in outer space. So a picture of our Earth. On our Earth, the North Pole and the South Pole, they're at the top and at the bottom of our planet. And they're the coldest places on our whole wide world. These two places are the coldest. And like it said, a lot of animals that live here are white because these places are covered in snow. Animals want to blend into their surroundings to stay safe. So a lot of them are white to blend in with the snow. I'm large. I'm long. I'm very strong. So here's a picture of some polar bears. They are large. She is long. And they're definitely very strong. I look very cuddly with my furry feet, but I get hungry when I smell fresh meat. So look at this bear. She does look like she could be cuddly, right? But she also looks like she could get really mean when she's hungry. She's so big. She's so strong. Got to be careful when those bears smell fresh meat. So here's her eyes, her nose, her little ears, and furry feet, just like she said. She looks cuddly because of her furry feet. Yes, I'm a polar bear. I'm hairy, I'm scary. Beware. Grrr. So look at the polar bear. You can see her big teeth. She's not even trying to show you. She's just like hanging out, and you can see how big her teeth are. And her big paws. Beware. Walrus. I have whiskers and tusks. I'm wrinkly and fat. I can sleep in the water. And that is that. So this is a walrus. These are his tusks. Tusks are like big pieces of bone. Well, quite a few animals have them. Elephants have tusks. I'm trying to think of another animal that has tusks, but they're these big pieces of bone basically that come out of their mouths or out of their face. So that is a tusk. And she's wrinkly and fat. We can see her wrinkles. We can see they're big and fat, like the beginning of the book said. Some of the animals love to be fat because it keeps them warm in those cold places. All their fat keeps them bundled up and warm. And that's that. A snowy owl. I am a snowy owl with my nest on the ground. I fly over grasslands. I don't make a sound. So this owl is silent when she flies. Nobody can hear her going. You can see her big eyes. Owls are famous for having really, really good vision. So that's her big eyes she's using to see really well. And a sharp beak she uses for eating. And look at these. These are her talons. These are her feet. These are her feet with sharp claws on it. So our walrus did not have any feet. Our walrus didn't need to be picking stuff up with her feet and finding her food that way, right? Because our walrus has her tusks that help her. But our owl, she has these feet with her talons, those sharp claws that help her pick stuff up while she's flying. That's our snowy owl. Arctic fox. In winter, my fur is thick and white. It keeps me very warm. In summer, my fur turns gray and brown. I can hide and be safe from harm. So the Arctic fox, the color of her fur actually changes with the season to keep her safe. So that's pretty amazing. In winter, she's all white. But in summer, look, she turns this different color. She's gray, she's brown. Her legs are dark gray, dark brown. So it helps her blend into her surroundings. Seal. I am a seal. I see my smooth skin. My flippers help me steer and swim. So here is our picture of our seal. There's a little baby seal over here. When seals are first born, they have a lot of fluffy fur, like you can see in this picture. And when they grow up, it becomes much less fluffy. It's much more smooth to help them get through the water faster. She's got whiskers, just like a dog or a cat, a little nose that looks even like a dog or a cat too, or nostrils. And look at her flippers. Her flippers. So she doesn't have legs. She only has these two front flippers that help her get around. I make a hole in the ice to catch fish to eat. I jump in the water when I hear bare feet. So the seal catches their food by swimming in the water. They make a hole in all this ice so that they can get to the water underneath. But when they hear a bear coming, they make a hole in the water to get away from the bear, because the bear doesn't like swimming in that cold water, but those seals, they love swimming in that water. Penguins. We're black and white penguins. We're birds who cannot fly. So penguins actually are like one of the only birds that don't fly. Instead, they love to run around on this ice and they slide on their bellies. Isn't that the cutest thing? They just run around, run, and then dive and slide on their bellies to wherever they're going. So maybe I'll play a video of that sometime. It's pretty cool to watch. We can leap and dive and swim and slide. So here's their little webbed feet. We talked about webbed feet earlier this week, how they help animals swim and get around. They're flippers like the seals have. They have little tails to help them steer while they're swimming. And their beaks, just like other birds, their mouth is a beak. It's this hard piece that helps them get their food. Whoop. So that is the end of our polar animals read aloud. We learned about 6 different kinds of polar animals, animals who love to live in the snow. So I talked about their legs and their feet a little bit for each animal. And that's because today we're going to play a little game called Legs or No Legs. And in this game, you're just going to help me figure out which of these 6 animals has legs or does not have legs. And we'll put them in that category. So here's our 2 categories. That means our 2 groups of things that are the same. So one group is a group of animals that has legs, and the other group is a group of animals that has no legs. So one category has legs, one category has no legs. So here's our 6 animals we were talking about. First, I want to ask you, where do you think the polar bear goes? Does the polar bear go in the category with legs? Or does the polar bear go in the category with no legs? What do you think? Say it out loud. Does the polar bear have legs or no legs? I think legs. Let's try another one. What about the penguin? Do you think a penguin should go in the no leg category, or a penguin should go in the category that it has legs? Penguin, legs or no legs? What do you think? Say it out loud. I think legs. Because we can see, even in this picture, you can see his 2 little dark legs underneath his big white belly. 2 little dark legs. What animal is next? I think it's time for the walrus. You can see the walrus big tusks right here, just like we talked about. Does the walrus have legs or have no legs? Which category should the walrus go into? Legs or no legs? I think a walrus, it does not have legs. We talked about that. The walrus does have these flippers up front to help them push around and swim around, but they do not have legs. They do not walk around on any legs. What about the owl? Does the snow owl have legs? Say it out loud. Which category do you think the snow owl should go into? Legs or no legs? The snow owl, legs. Yes, we talked about the snow owl, how it has those talons on the end of its legs. Remember, it has those sharp claws to pick stuff up while it's flying. While it's flying silently. It has those talons on its legs. So the snow owl goes in the legs category. What about, the seal? Does the seal have legs? What do you think? Should the seal? Oh no, I thought I had it hidden so it wouldn't show right away when I went to the next slide. Here's a giveaway. The seal has no legs. She has, just like the walrus, the seal has these flippers up front to help her get around on the land and swim around in the water, but she does not have any legs to walk around on. So she goes in the no legs category. Now, what about our last animal we're talking about, our Arctic fox? Does our Arctic fox go in the category of legs or no legs? Go ahead and say it out loud. Do you think the Arctic fox goes in the category of legs or no legs? I think it goes in the legs category. We can see its legs in this picture even. Remember when the Arctic fox, their fur changes colors with the season. So their legs change colors when it's warm or cold out, to blend in with her, with where she is, to keep her safe. So that's our little sorting game for today. You guys did a great job of legs or no legs. So now, as always, I have some practice at home for you. I do have 2 worksheets attached to this that you can screenshot and print out, or screenshot and edit on your computer, or even just pause the video and work on them just in your head for a moment. That's wonderful as well. Another great way for children to practice sorting at home is to use household items and sort those into categories. So for example, you could sort your clothes, clean your closet up, maybe sort them by color, sort them by the length of the sleeve, sort them by, is it a shirt or a dress or pants? That's all up to you. You can sort your toys, sort them by color or by size or by movie they're from, whatever you want. A great way to help with sorting is to put away the dishes. You have to sort everything, right? Because dishes usually go in a specific spot with other dishes that are the same. So that is a great example of sorting. If you want a little extra challenge, try sorting the silverware. That's extra hard because the silverware looks very similar to each other than the shape at the end. So that's a great practice for sorting. Now for the worksheets I discussed with you, here is the first one. So this first worksheet, you're supposed to circle the animals that belong to one group and underline the animals that belong to the other group. And then talk about what is the same about the animals in each group. So just like we had the categories in our game of legs or no legs, for this worksheet, you get to think of your own categories. What makes some of these things the same, and what makes some of these things different? That's totally up to you. You can, like I said, you can screenshot this page and print it out and complete it that way. Or if you don't have the ability to print it out, that's totally fine. Pause the video here for a moment, take a look at the pictures, and think, what is alike about some of these animals? What's different? How could I group these animals based off something they have in common, something that's the same about them? So that's our first worksheet. Our first worksheet, you get to choose the categories you put them into. So this one is almost a little bit harder because you have to choose the categories yourself. For the second worksheet, I have given the categories to you. So there's 3 places that you can sort things. Draw a line with a ruler to show where each thing belongs. So if you don't have a ruler, no problem. Just do your best to draw a line. But choose, where does each item go? Would a bed go in a vase, in a fridge, or in a home? Would an apple go in a vase, a fridge, or a home? So for this worksheet, you can screenshot this as well and print it out if you'd like to draw the lines to connect it. You can even color in the pictures for some fun. So that is one option. You can screenshot it and edit it on your computer, or you can just pause the video here as well and take a moment to match just in your head, which items would I put where? And think about why you would do that. So those are just a few examples of different ways to practice math at home. If you're looking for some more examples, some more activities to do at home, check out our other episodes, both from week 5 and prior. We have tons of activities to do at home, either individual or with multiple people. Some are games, some are more fun. So take a look at our other episodes and see if there's any other resources in there you want to use as well. For the meantime, I have loved teaching you today. Thank you so much for tuning in. It has been a lot of fun this week for this week 5 of programming of Sun Devil Learning Labs. Again, my name is Miss Kopp, K-O-P-P, that is me. And I will be here again next week for week 6 programming of the Sun Devil Learning Lab. So please feel free to tune in and join us again, learn a little bit, work on our math skills. Until then, I hope you guys stay safe and I will see you soon.